Just recorded. Well, we just came off the live stream for the game. 1-1, as you can see from the top. The clock's still playing, but let's ignore that. But what an absolute game. When I tell you that the dramas in this game had my heart pounding. I thought I was going to have a stroke at one point. But, I mean, there was a lot of controversy. There was a lot of... I would say the refereeing was really good today. And I think for a lot of reasons. I felt like the game started really intense for Arsenal. The way we started off with having 3 shots within the first 20 minutes. Especially from Calafiori. I mean, he had 2 shots. One header that came off the crossbar. Sorry, a header. Then Trossard, hit the crossbar as well with his header. And I thought we were probably going to blow him out the pond, I'll be honest. But as the game went on, and I think that Ben White injury kind of changed the dynamic of the team. How do you feel?
I think the same thing. I think the Ben White injury really gave us like a massive blow because they saw it as like an area where we're exposed. And then it was like shifting between Zubamendi coming on and then Skelly going right back and Rice going right back and then Skelly staying in the middle, that kind of thing. And eventually Zubamendi had to then get re-subbed off, even though he came on as a sub. But I think Gyökeres done really well. I think he deserves an honourable mention because he was finding those channels up front to then win fouls and get the ball up the pitch. So which is exactly what we wanted, literally. So so Declan Rice can try and whip a ball in or something like that. But I think we played really well. I think we dug deep. I think I'll go give props to West Ham. But then again, at the same time, when you're playing 5 back, there's only so much pressure you can add on before your counter-attacked, etc. You know what I mean? So we played really well. I think we made the right subs.
I think for me, the man of the match was David Raya's save.
Yeah.
If it weren't for that save, I'm telling you, Arsenal would not have won this match. No. That save encouraged the team to go on and score. And would you believe it? Odegaard passed forward. He stayed patient in the box. Now, I think that's the problem we have with Odegaard. He stays a bit too patient, holding on the ball too long. Doesn't pass forward. But this time he dribbled in the box, got into a right creative space, and then gave a lovely layoff to Trossard, who just buries it. Obviously, it was a deflection, but still...
I reckon it was going in regardless.
It was going to go in regardless, I think, as well. But, I mean, this was another 1-0 win. I had it at 4-0, and I had Gyökeres scoring 2. But I think the most important thing right now, especially the crunch time of the season, is winning. So we've got one hand on the trophy. We've got Burnley next, and then we've got Crystal Palace. Anything can happen. This game shows you that things can change in a flash.
Yeah.
We scored, and then look what happens. A corner, and then it goes in. I thought that's it. It's done. But obviously, with closer inspection, we saw that it was a blatant foul. While I was live streaming, there was a lot of fans from the opposite teams, Tottenham, Man United, saying it's not a foul. But you can clearly see David Raya's arm is grabbed way before his arm even goes up. And then if we just take that away for a minute, Todibo is grabbing onto the back of David Raya's neck. It's so blatant. I know the corners, they tussle and people say, but Arsenal are, pros at doing that. But 2 fouls on the goalkeeper, I feel like, show it was definitely a goal that should have been ruled out. Arteta was calling for it. Everybody's calling for it. But West Ham came to play. They didn't make it easy. In the first half, they were roughing up Arsenal. I mean, look what they did to Ben White.
Yeah.
They subbed him off. And I feel like that kind of shifted the whole dynamic. Like, you've got Declan Rice had to go into right back. You had Zubamendi and Skelly midfield. And obviously the energy, the momentum of the team kind of went a bit of a disarray. But in the second half, obviously Mosquera came on. Skelly went to left back, and I think he had a great job. Yeah. Locking up Bowen. Yeah. There was a few times Bowen had a shot, but I think overall Skelly did really, really well. Yeah. So yeah, it's just, I mean, man, my heart's still racing, I'll be honest. This win was needed. We're 2 games away from the Premier League title. And I know it's going to be bold to say right now, but I feel like if we could win the title, we could definitely win the Champions League. Because this team has never lifted any silverware of major influence like the Premier League or the Champions League. They don't know what it's like to win. So I think the mentality will definitely shift, holding the trophy and say, you know what, we've got this big title, which has been 20 years. We could definitely go out and do the Champions League.
I agree.
It's a shame that we did Tottenham a favour, yes, but our eyes are on the prize, which is the Premier League. So, West Ham, it's unfortunate. I'd rather have West Ham staying than Tottenham, of course, but...
You can only play with the cards that you're dealt.
Yeah, you can only play with the cards you're dealt, and you just have to go out there and do a job, isn't it? It's not about looking at other teams. Yeah. And I think when we conceded, before it was chalked off, The memes were flooding in, man. I was getting
Yeah.
crucified left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
But great tactical changes by Arteta, done at the right time. Madueke,
Yeah, I think great composure. I think
yeah,
good level heads from all the teammates. I think even as far as like there was a block that Gabriel made right towards the end, where he made sure he kept his hands down, leg out wide, that kind of thing. Those last little second shots here and there, those are the ones that can catch you out where you get like a VAR decision going against you because your hand was out. That kind of thing that happened to Ben White against, was it Atletico?
yeah,
Where it kind of deflated, his arm was a little bit out. Those little last minute ones, but Gabriel, Saliba, as always, solid at the back. Calafiori done really well. I think Declan Rice deserves a massive mention because not only was he like dictating the midfield and trying to get involved, but also shifting positions as well, getting the ball up there, coming and back in defence as well. I think there was a ball whipped in by Juve, left foot, and he was on the last attacker when the tackle was left free. So Gabriel and Saliba were taking out the equation, but he was there to kind of clean up and stuff like that. And it's players like him that kind of are silent assassins. They go under the radar, but I think he definitely deserves a shout out for this game as well.
yeah. I mean, even Gyökeres, the fact that, okay, he might not have scored, but if you watch his game closely, him and Todibo were going at it. And even when he's running forward with the ball, he's getting in front of Todibo because he knows that Todibo is going to draw a foul out of him.
And it's not easy playing against him.
Yeah.
He's a really, really tough character, really bold personality on the pitch, really tall. He wants you to come at him
Yeah.
so that he has a reason to then cause some ruckus. But Gyökeres kept his level head, he searched for the right fouls, got the right fouls, kept the ball shifting up the pitch. And that kind of changed the flow of the game in some instances as well when you get Declan Rice then getting a free kick and whipping it in and having those nearly chances where kind of West Ham look a bit shaky. So hats off to Gyökeres and Declan Rice as well.
I think if this was the Arsenal 2-3 years ago, even last season, I feel like we would have lost this game.
Yeah.
100%. People might say, oh, it's lucky. The goal should have stood for West Ham. But I'm clearly saying it's a foul. But I don't think Arsenal would have won this game.
And I think you go back to the pundits and stuff when they all talk in the Sky Sports newsroom or whatever. They always say if it was anyone else apart from Arsenal, they would say, "Oh, but that's what champions do. That's what would-be champions do. They dig deep. They clutch onto whatever they have and they ride with it and they stick out the storm and then get through the storm into the clearing. If it looks like a 1-0 win, then again that's exactly what champions do.
Yeah.
But I feel as though there is some stuff coming against Arsenal where it's going to be the opposite of that, and it's like again, like you said, the lucky win and wow, that should have been a goal and that was nowhere near a chalked off goal, that kind of thing. But at the same time, look, when you're the best, you're going to receive hate, right? And we want to be the best. We're still not there yet. Again, like I said, we've got 2 games to go. But slowly but surely, we are showing signs that we are ready to be champions. And it's about time because it's taken us how many years?
20 years.
So we've deserved it. We deserved it.
22 years, sorry, to be exact.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Arsenal, they've proved the doubters wrong. Everybody said this is the game that Arsenal need to win if they want to win the Premier League title. Because obviously we have Burnley next at home. I don't feel Burnley are going to pose a threat. They're basically going to a championship. After we have Crystal Palace away. Man City have Crystal Palace, they have Bournemouth. So things
Chelsea's World Cup final.
Yeah, so things can still change, They've got a few games in a tight schedule. We've got a bit of a breathing space between our 2 games. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I just want to say thank you so much for everyone that tuned in for the watch along. Thank you so much for the the views, the subscriptions. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't work. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment down below. Do you think that goal should have stood for West Ham?
No chance.
Till next time.